Hi, I'm Matt Post with SCM Dynamics, and this is another morning cup of SEO where I take a week's worth of search engine news. I distill it down to only those items that affect the legal industry, and I present it to you on a weekly basis. Now, if you're a do-it-yourself lawyer, this is for you. If you have your own marketing team or somebody who does the marketing for you, what I want you to do, I want you to forward this video to that individual so that they can keep up to date with the search engine news that is affecting your law firm. So as always, I have my handy dandy notes, and let's begin. First, Yelp has announced that they now have custom location targeting. And before, what they would do is you were able to run ads, but those ads would be based on a radius around your business. Now you can specify specific locations that you want your ads to run. So that's important to you, especially most attorneys, because you have a physical location, although you can perform your duties usually throughout the entire state and sometimes even in multiple states. And now with the custom location ads or targeting, you're able to actually target outside and specify regions or areas that you want to focus your business on. Next, back in October, Google rolled out a call history report, and it was pretty much full of blank information, but no longer. They're now running in beta a call history report that will show the caller ID and when a date tag, and also let you know whether or not somebody's answered the call or whether it's a missed call. This is important for you as a lawyer, especially if you have other individuals who are answering the phones on your behalf, whether it's an intake center, maybe you have some paralegals that are answering the phone for you and handling those incoming calls. It's important to know when there are missed calls not being handled, or what percentage of the calls coming in from your Google My Business are being answered versus missed. Now, note this is in beta, so you may not have access to this yet, and so some people will have access, some people won't. It's a bit random, but you should. Let's put it this way: you should have access shortly. But once it comes, out of beta, they'll roll this out completely. Now, John Mueller has announced, or has stated in a reply to a tweet, that ADA compliance is not a ranking factor, and this should come as no surprise. ADA compliance is not meant to be a ranking factor. It is a huge user experience factor, though, especially when you consider that a quarter of the population in the US has some sort of disability, and about half of those who are disabled are considered to be severely disabled. So, ADA compliance for a website, so having your site be accessible to those who have disabilities, and that is a huge user experience factor for a lot of people within the US. And take into consideration if you're an estate planning attorney, right? You're dealing with those who may be elderly and could be disabled or more prone to have severe disabilities. If you're a personal injury attorney or work comp attorney, your job is working with those who have been injured, and therefore the percentage of those who are disabled is much greater. Right? And therefore you want to make sure that your site is accessible to those individuals, or they won't be able to utilize your site and they will go to a competitor's site that is accessible. So again, ADA compliance, it is not a ranking factor. It is a huge conversion factor and user experience factor. You should have your site be accessible. And if you don't know if your site is accessible, you can seek out a third party to audit your website. Now, a little bit of self-promotion. We do own the company WCAG Pros, so if you do want to audit, we do offer it. Go to WCAGpros.com, or you can do a Google search for it and search for any WCAG website compliance consultant. Right? You search for that, and you'll be able to find a number of individuals or companies that can provide an ADA compliance audit for your website. Now last, there's a bug in the Google Search Console that's under the new Page Experience tab. And that bug is falsely reporting that there's insufficient HTTPS coverage. Again, it's potentially a false report. You want to make sure that the developers do investigate and make sure that your site is using HTTPS properly. And HTTPS is what allows for a secure connection between the browser and the server. And it is important that you do have a secure website, especially for a law firm, and even more so if you're storing user information. So double check, just make sure you are using HTTPS across your website. And if not, fix it. If you are, just understand that it's a bug. Google knows about it. They're working on it. It'll be fixed. So I'll talk to you next week, and be sure to like or subscribe so that you can get notifications of future videos.